Hi, I'm Karen and he's Ken, and together we're the Grand Canyons. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Relationship Matters.
Relationship matters.
On this episode of Relationship Matters with the Grand Canyons, we're going to give advice to new couples that are new in the game. I mean, y'all just got off the internet yesterday. Well, look, relationship advice with the Grand Canyons.
This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Red Family Dentistry, where we want to see you smiling. All right, y'all, we're back for another episode of Relationship Matters. What we're going to talk about today is we get asked all the time about how did y'all make it? You know, what advice would you give to new couples? It doesn't matter how old you are. It just matters that you new to each other.
Right.
All right? And so we came up with a list of, maybe 4 things that we thought that was good. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear it all the time, man. I've heard this before. People say, they complete me, or this person makes me whole. But the truth of the matter is nobody can complete you. You have to be whole. What happens is people come and they're not complete and they're looking for the other person to give them something that they don't have. And now you take from the other person and you have 2 vessels that are empty.
Also, I'll say this for women. When we look for somebody else to complete us and we feel like they complete us when we leave, we feel broke. When they leave, we feel broken.
Wow.
And so you always have to go a complete whole person. So if by chance the relationship doesn't work out, you're still a complete whole person.
That's
when
deep.
They leave.
Yo, that's deep, man. Wow.
I'll take a pair of shoes for that.
Okay. But I always say this. People can't complete you, but people can compliment you.
Oh, that's good.
And so what we want to do is give you the 4 things that we have found in our relationship and in our coaching, what's helped other people. And Ned, what do you think about number 1? Number one, you have to be willing to personally develop yourself first.
That's hard.
Well, but it's hard. But didn't you tell me, you said to me recently, you said, number 1, people have to look at themselves. They have to reflect on their own past. How did I end up like this? Why do I think like this? They have to become self-aware of what makes me tick, what makes me go off. How do I handle adversity?
But you know what? Also, when you're willing to personally develop, sometimes you have to dig back in your past and pull up stuff that you buried and you forgot. That's why it's so hard.
I know, but
I feel like
you're right. But
challenging.
The truth is, you're writing your book right now. You're writing a book, and you told me I've had to go back and dig up stuff.
And, emotions and feelings, when you're writing stuff down or dealing with things, in order for it to change, in order for there to be change, you really have to stare it in the face and face that thing, that giant, that monster, that scared you, that had you hiding under the bed.
Wow.
You have to face that thing, and it's not always easy.
It's not easy, but once you face that monster, though, the boogeyman can't scare you anymore.
That's
once
right.
you face them. It's when you hide from them. It's when you hide from the molestation. It's when you hide from mama said I was ugly, I would never be anything. It's when you hide from the things that they talked about in school and said, you know what? And you're willing to delve into it and say, you know what? I have value no matter what anyway. I still have value whether this fool that I was dating left me or not. And until people get to the point that they realize that they have value. And do you know, I did a talk recently, we both did a talk, and I told people, I said, self-esteem, the root of self-esteem is estimate. How do you estimate your value? And I believe that the Creator God said, you're beautifully and wonderfully made, you have value, but until you believe it, it won't matter.
Which takes us to step 2.
Step 2. Whenever you're in a relationship, you always have to talk about what you value. You always have to talk about what you value. I gotta give you the point.
From you too.
Right.
When we were dating, but I don't think I was going with you. I don't know if you was going with me.
I probably wasn't going with you.
But you told me, never compromise your standards. Never compromise your value system to be what someone else wants you to be or to be with somebody.
Yes. And here's the thing. You want to date somebody who has a similar value system. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. Number 1, people think because a person's personality is different, that does not mean people stay together because their value system is the same. It doesn't mean, like when I hear people say, well, they're loud, I'm loud and you're quiet. I'm an extrovert, you're an introvert. But that's just our personality trait. But our value system is similar. We value family. We value fidelity. We value saving money together. We value achieving goals. All of those value system is what keeps us together. I got a thing I often say that. I say attraction brings you together. Value system keeps you together.
That's good.
Okay?
That's good.
And number two.
Assume good intentions. What do you mean by that?
Assume good intentions.
Assume good intentions.
All right. Here's what I mean. When you get in a relationship, we bring a lot of baggage along. A lot of baggage, a lot of thought process, a lot of perceptions about other people. And so if you're going to get in a relationship, assume good intentions from the beginning until they show you bad intentions.
So they're innocent until proven.
But a lot of times in a relationship, do you think people say, well, I saw that before? They're guilty until they're proven innocent. People have that.
Okay, but you're saying they should be innocent.
I said they should be innocent. I said, just like people that I know, and I know I changed, because I used to do stuff, maybe she called me a garden tool. I wouldn't go that far, but I did some things. But what happened was, and here's what you did, and I appreciate it. You said, I'm not going to hold your past against you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assume good intentions until you show me bad intentions. And what we were able to do, we were able to grow from that, because I was able to walk into those good intentions. Because a lot of people, when people are saying, you just like my last boyfriend, or you just like this other fool that I was dating. And at the end of the day, they're nothing like that fool. Just because you see the traits, that doesn't mean that person is like that person. Now, sometimes when you see the traits, that might be them. But any little thing they do, oh snap, you remind me of Jimmy. You left the toilet up.
That's serious.
I'm just saying.
Especially around about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, when you got one eye open and you go in there in that toilet. That's serious right there.
That never happened to you. Number 4.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4.
Build them up.
Why is that important that you tell me?
We talk about this often. I think a woman has the ability to make a man feel like Superman, and then she has the ability to make him feel like the coyote on Roadrunner.
Wow.
And I just feel, in my opinion, you will never have, well, not in my opinion, but I'm saying you will never have a cheerleader anybody that cheers for you greater than me.
Right.
I will always hold you in high esteem and build you up.
The reason why that's important, and I appreciate you.
You did ask me why was it important. I didn't even answer. Go ahead, baby.
No.
I just.
But no, you talked about
Yeah.
why it's important is because of this. It's because what we don't know is, we also don't know, like I said before, the baggage that people bring. When you build a person up, when you begin to affirm a person, when you begin to talk about them and support what they're doing, because building them up, part of that is supporting the things that they do. Now, it doesn't always mean you agree with it. Now, there have been times we talked about earlier on a podcast that we were on that you didn't necessarily agree with everything I did, but you built me up in the process.
Yes, I did.
Even if you don't believe it will work. You say, but you know what? You have the ability to do that what you want to do. This might not be the right opportunity, but you yourself have the ability. You can be great. And the truth is, the reason why some people can't build another person up because they've never been built up. And so I simply say, start practicing.
Good.
Start practicing.
That's good. You're so smart.
And the last thing is this right here.
This right here, if you can conquer this right here, you can find Trump's taxes. Be willing to compromise. If you can do this right here, you can do the impossible.
Be willing to compromise. And part of compromising is allowing yourself to say, you know what? I am going to trust the other person enough. I'm going to trust them enough to give up a piece of what I desire.
That's so true.
Yes.
There have been so many times that, because you're, like I said, you're a visionary. You always come up with these things. You always have
some of them work, some of them don't.
some of them work, some of them don't. But what was we talking about?
Compromise.
A compromise. But there have been so many times where I have felt like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I stood behind you, I pushed you, you know, I even if it was crazy, I did. I mean, you know, just being able to compromise and for me to sit back and not. Cause there have been times, Kenny, and I know I'm going off script, that we have been saving for something, and you've had an idea.
Wow.
And I have
remember
said,
those times.
you remember?
Wow.
You had an idea, and we have been saving and saving and saving in this jar.
Wow.
But you didn't want to ask for it because we were saving for something.
Right.
And I came to you and I said, take that money and do it. To me, that's.
And sometimes it worked out, and we've done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But I appreciate you because you were willing to compromise. And y'all, compromise is not a
I still haven't
bad.
taken my pole dancing classes, but it's okay.
I'm gonna compromise on that. I just want to make sure it's sturdy though. I gotta reinforce that joint. All right. And look, y'all, be willing to compromise. All I'm gonna say is, if you're new at a relationship, and the last thing I will say is simply this: is y'all don't hold people hostage for something they did 10 years ago to somebody else. People can change.
And I want to leave with something that you said earlier, but I think it bears repeating.
Go ahead.
People can't complete you. They can only compliment you. And we're the Grand Canyons.